Well, welcome back to the Stronger Together podcast. We are here again in sunny Orlando. This is our second day live. We've been going about 3+ weeks, bringing you the voices of ISTE, and I've been joined for every episode with my co-host from School AI.
Yes.
Nick, how are you doing? And tell us a little bit about School AI before we jump into our next guest.
I'm doing great, and my colleagues are not happy with me because I get to learn with all of these experts for like 4 hours during ISTE, and then all those hours beforehand. I get this like super VIP access to these great educators doing amazing things. So they're kind of annoyed.
Well, they can go to the booth 2714, and if they do go there, what kind of the experts are they going to see at School AI booth?
Yeah, we've got many of the people that we are actually talking to on the podcast here are going to be in the booth talking about how you can leverage School AI to support learning and differentiation, and most importantly, make connections with your students to support them in real time. So please swing by the booth, get yourself a demo, sign up for a free account. We're really excited to connect with all of you here to learn more about how we can better support you, make school awesome every single day for all the students and all the educators there.
Awesome. And speaking of making school awesome, Stacy Hawthorne is somebody who does that in all of her work. So Stacy, thank you for jumping on today.
Hey, Matt, thank you so much for having me. And in addition to you saying we were in sunny Orlando.
I got you. Yes, go ahead.
We're actually in sunny and very humid Orlando, and I brought the hair to prove that to everybody.
Okay,
So,
all right. I did not.
I'm
I'm lucky that there's any there. So I will take your word for it to really talk through that, because I haven't had that problem for a long time. So for those who don't know the work that you do, both with districts and COSN and just really embedding that collaborative feel, share a little bit about what you do and the work that you're involved in.
Yeah, so I have a couple of roles. Most people know me a little bit more nationally because I sit on the COSN board, and I'm currently serving as the chair for the COSN board of directors. So in that role, COSN supports K-12 tech directors, CTOs, and organizations, districts across the U.S. We focus on the things that make technology safe for students, so data privacy, interoperability, cybersecurity, all of the things that allow students to have those powerful classroom experiences with technology so that they can do that safely. In addition to that, I serve as the executive director of the EdTech Leaders Alliance. The EdTech Leaders Alliance is an Ohio-based not-for-profit, and we serve as the home for the COSN chapter, ISTE partner, CETA affiliate, Student Data Privacy Consortium for all of the districts in Ohio. So.
Wow.
Right? Someone's busy.
That's my day job. But that is impressive. I'd say so. Last year in Chicago was my first COSN.
Oh, thank you for coming. We're so happy.
It was one of those events where I was like angry that I'd missed all these other years where I could have been running, because it is just a powerhouse of educational leaders, super passionate about all of those things that you talked about and how they can do it. And for us at School AI, where privacy and data concerns are so important to us, if we're going to have students access AI, that's like key. And so my question for you is that with technology constantly changing, like how much of a swivel are you guys constantly sort of on, like every year in sessions and proposals? Because proposals are open for COSN that's in Orlando.
It is in Orlando. It's in April, slightly less hot, less humid. So if you want to come back, do that. So we do. So one of the things that we do at COSN is we do a State of EdTech report. And we've been doing it for 16 years. It comes out every year. It is freely available to anyone, COSN member or not. That doesn't mean I don't want you to be a COSN member. But it tracks trends and not fads, but like what is important to tech directors over those last 16 years. And so cybersecurity is number one. In 2013, when this thing came out, I think it was like number 5. But AI obviously wasn't on that list. Data privacy wasn't even on the list 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to watch how those things have changed and manifested as technology has accelerated. And the acceleration that we're under right now is only continuing to exacerbate some of that change that we see. So we do a lot to try to stay proactive, but we are very nimble. We're a small organization. I'm a volunteer. Everybody's like, oh, she drank the COSN Kool-Aid. Like, I'm a volunteer. I'm not getting paid. I'm not a paid spokesman. I'm not an influencer. So we stay, but we'll adapt to the trends. So right now, We just released we just released one new report last night, and it's a communications toolkit for our members. It's how, as a district, can you talk to parents and school boards when you're getting screen time questions? So what's some messaging that resonates, and the research behind that messaging. And then in July, we're going to be releasing a model policy toolkit, because a lot of our member districts have reached out and said, hey, we have to put in a model policy discuss and have guidance to help us. And so we're hardcore out on minutes as a measure of purposeful technology. So we got a task force together that met for several weeks, got a lot of ideas into a document. I spent Friday last week taking all of that and turning it into a model policy brief for our member districts that says, if you're going to do a model policy, here's the things you need to consider. Here's some examples of model policy, and here's some things that you need to know when you ban things, what are unintended consequences. So
Sure.
So some of that is, a little bit reactionary. If you'd asked me a year ago, am I going to write a model policy for screen time? No, I wouldn't have. But we try to balance the two.
Well, and I think an organization like COSIN is so valuable because EdTech directors, CPOs are constantly in a reactionary response, and on top of the localized nature of things that they're dealing with. So to have something that can be, to a degree, prescriptive, like, hey, this is an outline, knock yourself out. This is us based on our, experience. I've said 16 years of doing this report and seeing how things are. But something that stood out to me, you talk about purposeful, right? And I think there is bad EdTech usage, and there can be purposeful EdTech usage, right? Giving kids iPads because you want them to check papers maybe isn't good purposeful technology. So how have you seen that, or that messaging? Because you don't want to offend teachers that they're maybe not doing it with the best pedagogical approach, but there is a wrong way and a right way, right? Or at least there are a lot of right ways, but they're definitely wrong ways. So how do you see that, or how do you communicate that with members in your community?
Yeah, you just gave me a really big segue that I don't think you meant to. So.
That's how good he is. He is coming out. He came in, he's like,
I'm a co-host for Weeds and Bumps.
this is why we do it.
So the first thing I'm going to say is, just like you said, there's bad technology and there's purposeful technology. There's bad worksheets and there's purposeful worksheets. So take out the noun, it's anything. So technology is not the problem, it's the implementation of the technology. And so I partnered with COSIN, and we're working on a project right now. It's called Purposeful Technology, Powerful Learning. You can't ban possibility, because I do have a little snark in me, so you can't.
I like it.
And we've been interviewing school districts across the U.S. for the last 6 months, talking about how they're purposefully integrating technology that's creating outcomes for students that, if that technology was banned or reduced to a quantity, that there would be real irreparable harms to students. And so in those interviews, every single interview talks about what's the problem that they tried to solve. Like, that's what we started. We didn't start with what technology. What was the problem?
Yeah.
What was your challenge? How did you do it? What were the outcomes for students? What do your parents and community have to say about that? What's the research that supports that? How does that line up with the future of workforce? What harms would happen if it was banned in your district? And so hearing those voices across the U.S. and being able to share them, both in the book forms that are coming out soon, but also with posted through blogs and video videos, and taking some of the interviews and turning them into short stories, because we want to reclaim the narrative that EdTech is bad.
Yeah.
It is purposeful technology, powerful learning, and that's really what you need. So I think we, a couple of things we're here at ISTE 2026 live. Teachers need more job-embedded professional development, whether they're first-year teachers or 25-year teachers, to be purposeful with technology. They need analog options. Not everything should be on technology, or everything should be off of technology. I can remember being in ISTE probably 12-ish plus years ago, and I was talking to a superintendent, and he said, he had just gone one-to-one in his whole school district. He was so excited about it. It was 12, 15 years ago.
Sure.
And he said, and then I walked by a classroom and nobody was on their computer, and it was terrible. And I said to him, how do you know it was terrible? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you said you walked by the classroom and nobody had a laptop, so how do you know it was terrible? He's like, I mean, what were they doing? He's like, I don't know, they were on the laptops. And I was like, you can't tell whether it's good or bad because the laptops are open or because the laptops are closed.
Right.
There's lots of really, kids should not be on the computer all day, every day. So I think, really emphasizing that, and we need to move away from technology professional development that's about normally what we give teachers is how to use the tool, and not why to use the tool. And so it's all about the how to do this number of minutes. So, yeah, thanks for the segue.
Well, I'm really excited.
He earned his keep today for sure. So speaking of COSIN and the event, what are some things that you're looking forward to this year as the president?
For the COSIN conference?
Just any in general.
Yeah, I'm really excited about how we are supporting our members with the screen time thing. Another issue that we really just took up is E-rate. So for those of you that know or don't know, the FCC did authorize a full review of the E-rate program to see if it's still necessary because they think that all schools are connected, and we know that's not the case. So we're working on a huge initiative with other partners. You can go to saveourerate.com and fill out a little form, send your members to Congress, note that says you still care about E-rate. We've done that with a coalition. We do a lot of other things, working with other organizations. We just released a procurement guide based on the 5 quality EdTech indicators that we did with CAST and ISTE, Digital Promise, and a couple of other organizations. So I'm really excited about the way COSIN reaches across and helps bring the community together and participates in that larger EdTech community because we're so much, I'm going to steal a line, but we're so much stronger together doing this.
All right, I don't own the line. It's just talks about what we do, but you can edu-borrow it anytime you want.
Okay.
So when I asked you the question, you delineated between COSIN and the event. How about the event? Any exciting things you're like, I can't wait for this to be here?
Yeah, I can't tell you who, but we have some super exciting keynotes really signed up. So we're getting a little punchier with our keynotes, which I'm really excited about that. And then our theme for COSIN 2027 is Innovate with Purpose.
Okay.
So we really wanted to bring in that purposeful technology piece of it. And then you were kind enough, Nick, to mention that our call for proposals is open. That closes July 17th right now.
Yes.
So.
I'm excited.
All right.
I'm submitting. I know
I am too. So looking forward to it as well. And
I'll be doing reviews, so I'll keep an eye out.
All right. So you know our
awesome.
names. I like it. So what are some things for you personally that you're looking forward to in this coming 6 months, like the end of 2026?
Yeah. So, personally, we want to get really personal. I just had my second grandchild.
Okay.
Congratulations.
And here's this kicker: like having a grandchild is so much easier than having an actual child.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to do most of the
You can
work.
leave, right?
You can leave.
You don't have to do most of
Rile
the
them
work.
up and leave. Give them all the candy and say good night.
Yeah. So that's really exciting personally. We are at the EdTech Leaders Alliance. We're really excited. We just got approved earlier in June to be the official COSIN chapter for Kentucky as well. So we now become the second multi-state chapter. So in Washington, we have ACPE, which is in Washington and Oregon, and then now we have EdTech Leaders Alliance, which is Kentucky and Ohio, and we're really excited about that. Kentucky doesn't have a large number of districts, and we feel really strongly as EdTech leaders. I'm the EdTech director. That COSIN has the resources to help those districts, particularly our smaller and under-resourced districts, to make have those tools. Like I was a tech director at school district 7,500 students. I did not have a CIO. I did not have a cybersecurity. Like, that was all me. And so COSIN can help with that. So we're really excited about growing in that perspective as well.
That's amazing.
So as we kind of wrap up, and I want you to put your COSIN hat on or your Alliance hat on, because we talk about stronger together a lot. What does it mean to you working in these groups to really lift everyone else up and empower others?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is we cannot do this alone. Like I can know what's happening in Ohio, and I can talk to Ohio educators who just ran into a couple walking by, which was great to see them out in the wild. But unless I know what's happening, like I go to the NICE conference every year because they have such a strong organization and make connections. I was talking to a friend from North Carolina. And it really is hearing the different perspectives, how they're solving different problems, although we're largely facing similar problems with different nuances, and having that opportunity to make Ohio education stronger by bringing in a national perspective, which is why I volunteered on the COSIN board as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with us today. Thanks for the work that you do, and I look forward to seeing all the things that you just talked about come to life in our education space.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Of course. And for those out there watching or listening, we still have a few more coming up today. Make sure to listen, watch. If you missed anything from Sunday or our pre-events, go back and watch them. They're all on the playlist. Follow me. You'll get all the links because there's some impactful educators out there that you can continue to learn from even after ISTE is over.